Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Louise. I just wanted to jump on super quickly this morning. I'm just heading out, but I just wanted to jump on quickly and make a video. So thanks for all the comments on the last video. It was great to see so many. It seems like the videos that do well are either on politics or how to make someone chase you. None of the others really do very well, but thank you for the comments. Whether you agree with me or not, actually, I'm all about free speech, so it would be very hypocritical not to want free speech that was different to my speech. As long as it's all respectful and it's not name calling, then obviously I'm cool with whatever comments. From reading through them, it actually made me realise that I think a better petition and a petition that actually possibly means more would be, or the next petition after this one would be, a call to reform our voting system entirely. Because I think a big problem with this government and this petition is the fact that, like people very aptly stated in the comments, the amount of people that actually voted for Keir Starmer was so few. So yes, he won, but there was so few votes that were even cast. And not only that, but a lot of votes were actually sent to smaller parties. And I think there is a shift in the UK happening where we don't want to keep flip-flopping between the two uni parties. The comment was a really good comment, actually, because he said America is totally different because they're always basically pretty much 50-50. Whereas our recent election wasn't really like that. It was really quite split. I noticed actually that Scotland and Wales, for example, were voting for a lot of their own parties and they weren't quite as interested anymore in the main English parties. And there really was quite a diverse spread across a lot of smaller parties. And then because of our voting system, they don't really actually get represented by seats. So what we end up with this massive Labour majority, and actually this is another reason for the petition and why a lot of people are miserable, is because a lot of these people did actually vote for smaller parties. And although it's understandable that those parties didn't get quite as many votes, it's very understandable to be upset and kind of annoyed that you voted for a party that got millions of votes and it got a handful of seats. When we look at the Lib Dems and Reform and some of the Scottish and Welsh parties, they should have had more representation in Parliament, and it just simply isn't fair. And I understand that we did have a vote on this many years ago, and I think a lot of people didn't understand the importance of it because we were simply swinging between the two main parties. The smaller parties were really nowhere to be seen back then. But as we're getting a rise in people wanting to give the smaller parties a chance and not keep sticking between these two main uni parties, the voting system needs to reflect that. And I actually think rather than a general election, which is incredibly unlikely to happen, probably what we should be putting forward to Parliament is a better representational system of voting so that smaller parties get a say. Of course, I'm sure they won't want that, but I think that actually is a good place to put our energy so that our voices actually get heard and the vote ends up representational of society. Because at the moment, what we have is a leader in power that a tiny percentage of the population actually voted for. It's not like 50-50 split and it just swung one way. We have somebody in that really many people didn't want to be in the first place. But because of the way our voting system works in the UK and because people were disillusioned full stop with the two main parties, we ended up in this situation. This is why it's a very different election, a very different vote, and these petitions are very different to previous years when there was just pretty much, it was always an even-ish split and it would just go one way or it would go the other way, like what happens in America. We're in a very different situation here, and I do think that the next follow-up petition really should be a call to reform the voting system so it's far more fair and it reflects what the British people are interested in, which is not the two main uni parties anymore, or it's certainly heading that way and going that way, and it needs to be allowed to be reflected in the voting system. Anyway, that's my opinion from reading the comments and a little bit more thinking on this topic. All right, I hope everyone has a good day and I will speak soon. Bye bye.